Welcome to Southwest Florida Real Estate Update, hosted by area realtor Jim York and York Real Estate Group of Downing Fry Realty. Our show will bring you the most up-to-date information about the local real estate market, featuring leading experts in the real estate field.
Welcome to the Southwest Florida Real Estate Update. I'm Morgan York with York Real Estate Group, and today we're joined by our host Jim York and his guest Allan Berube, certified home inspector with Janus Inspections.
Thank you, Morgan, for the introduction. Allan, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Jim.
So I'm real excited about today because I know you do all my inspections and I know the quality of job you do. And what we want to do today is educate our viewers a little bit about the process of an inspection here in Florida. So maybe first start out and tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, my name is Allan Berube. My company name is Janus Inspections. I perform home real estate inspections in the Lee and Collier counties. I've been in inspections since 2010. I am an InterNACHI certified inspector. That means the InterNACHI is the International Association of Certified Home Inspectors. I am a certified master inspector as well. So we offer every type of inspection, from homes to condos to commercial real estate to insurance inspections as well.
And you also have a GC license too?
I don't have a GC license. I just have my commercial and my home inspection.
Okay, so people that are moving down here to Florida, I'm holding here an inspection report, but really let's just go into what all the things you do and go from there.
Okay, well, once obviously somebody makes a contract on a property, you want to have it inspected. You want somebody to come in and go from top to bottom and tell you what kind of condition the house is in. When we're hired to do an inspection, whether condo, home, whatever, we start from do everything from the roof to the foundation. Our first thing when we walk up, will be to get actually a layout of the property, to see how water is draining, stuff like that. We run every appliance inside the house. We check all the heating, the air conditioning, the plumbing systems. We go through every room, check windows, doors, make sure they all close properly. Check all electrical outlets, open up the panel to make sure that the panel is properly wired. We walk on every roof that we can safely. Right. And we actually go into the attics as well to make sure that roof is one side, but we really need to see what's in that attic and how the attic structure has been holding up, and if there's any water leaks or anything like that. So it's pretty detailed inspection. We try and cover every aspect of that home that you really want to know about. You want to know if it's a sound product that you're buying. So
I know that some of the inspections you've done for me is even plants can be on the house that can create problems. So maybe elaborate on some of the other problems, or you might see mold in the house in an area, or mice or rats in the.
Sure, we have. Everybody loves the look of that home as you drive up, and it's got the bougainvillea, it's throwing over the garage. That's not necessarily the best thing for the stucco of the home. Also, trees during construction, when that tree was 6-8 feet tall, it was nice to plant it there. But once it's gotten bigger now, you have tree limbs that are rubbing on the asphalt shingles. So you have actually a passageway for rodents and pests to get into your house. And that all, trees and landscaping around the house also has to do with the moisture around the house. You know what I mean? Whether the turf is holding water, whether mulch is built up over the sidewalls. But we check into all that. We make sure that everything is trimmed properly, and if not, then it should be, because you need to have that airspace and good barrier to your house.
And the one thing that may always interest me is all the tools that you have. So maybe just describe to the viewers about, when you're testing the air conditioner, the kind of tools that you use for that.
Well, we take temperature drops at air handlers, so we put a temperature gauge in to make sure we're getting the proper temperature differentials on air conditioning units. We also use laser thermometers to make sure that you're getting a standard airflow throughout the whole house. And we use a number of different other tools. We have infrared imagers to look for any water issues. We have, digital thermometers, the pinless thermometers,
Right.
and, to check for water and moisture meters. And so we have kind of nifty tools, and they all serve a certain purpose. So.
And then one thing, when you come into the house, typically you turn everything on, like the dishwasher and the oven. You check the oven, how it's heating, right?
We do. We start those things that we know are going to take a little bit of time, like the washing machine and the
Right.
dishwasher. They're obviously going to run through a cycle. We try and make sure that everything runs through a cycle. We'll turn the ice maker on.
That's
And
right.
make sure that it makes ice by the end of the day, by the end of the inspection. Sorry. So yes, we do run from room to room. I have a certain pattern, okay, a flow. So you come in, you start your stuff, and then you kind of do a perimeter, and I can walk up to 3, 4, 5 times around the house until I know that for sure that I've caught everything that there is to be seen. I'll keep going around, and it's the same thing with every room in the house. You make sure that you stick with the program, you stick with the routine that you're going through, and in the end, we'll have tried every appliance, every outlet, every light switch. That way you know that you have a full inspection done and that you're as accurate as possible for the home buyer.
What I tell my clients is maybe come at the end of the inspection to get a recap from me, because I said that during the inspection you do have that routine, and that you don't want to deviate from that routine by them asking you a lot of questions. So the best time is at the end is to come. You'll do a little bit of summary. The other thing I'd like to just get into a little bit is your software program, what you use and how you, communicate all these things to the buyer and myself as a realtor.
Well, right now I use what's called the PalmTech software. PalmTech software is actually done completely on my phone. So I can open up the inspection report, and I travel through the templates in my inspection, make sure that I've gotten everything. Any individual template like plumbing or electrical or air conditioning will not close in the template unless I know it's complete, until it's complete. So I go through that. Every time there's an issue, you can take the photo with the camera, and technically once you've finished the program and you've finished the inspection, it can be sent right from the phone. Now, I bring it home, I make sure that I proof it, I add the wind mitigations, which are included with all of our inspections and the invoices and stuff like that. But it's very user-friendly software. And in the end, when it's done that evening, it's sent out to the client. It's sent out via email.
Right.
So they have a copy of it on their
Right
their email address, and they can print it. They can keep it on their computer. It's broken down into a certain category, so you have the major part of the inspection, and then we break down the issues in the report by marginal and defective summaries, and those summaries are available at the back of the report. So I think it's very easy to read. I've checked into a few of the programs. By far, I like this one the best.
Yeah, it's very friendly user. I mean, and what's nice that, what I've dealt with you is that in our contracts we have 15 days to do an inspection. So, typically I can get a hold of you, I can call you directly, and that you'll do the inspection. But the nice thing is that evening, might be midnight or whatever, by the next morning we have it in our email that we can review it and go, the buyer and myself can review it.
Yeah.
So some inspection companies, it takes 2 or 3 days to get it back. So
Unless there's information that is outstanding that I need to follow up with, I like to finish the day when the day ends and move on to the next day, So they're all out the same day.
Alan, we're going to take a little short break, and we're going to be back in 1 minute. Thank you.
Thinking of buying or selling a home in Naples, Bonita Springs, or Estero? Think of the most experienced realtors. The York Real Estate Group of Downing Fry Realty. Let's have a look at what the McLeans have to say about their experience working with the York Real Estate Group.
Jim York was our broker in acquiring our present home in Bonita Springs. His knowledge and integrity made the process go very smoothly.
It was a pleasure doing business with Jim York. Everything was done in a superbly professional manner.
Welcome back. Alan, before we go into some pictures here, tell our viewers a little bit about the other services you offer just besides inspection.
Well, we offer the regular condo and home inspections,
Right.
obviously, for that real estate buyer. Along with the condo and home inspections, we offer radon testing, mold testing, and wood-destroying organism, which is termite inspections as well. We have infrared imaging testing. We also do a significant amount of work for insurance companies. We offer wind mitigations for properties, 4-point inspections as well, roof certification. So if there's any inspection needs that you need for your property, we can provide it.
Yeah. Is there a lot of radon down here? People are used to it up north, but in Florida?
Typically, naturally, there's not.
Right.
There's not. It's in the construction methods that we bring in. We bring in our own radon. Let's put it that way. So it's going to be tested.
Okay. Okay. Alan, let's go to some pictures
Absolutely.
of an inspection that you took. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What is this?
Well, these are a few different photographs from older homes, newer homes. This is actually a brand new home. And people ask me all the time whether new home construction should be inspected. And there's a couple of schools of thought, but this is a brand new home. Nobody has ever lived in it. And over on the left-hand side of that front gutter at the front entrance to the house, the gutter was installed at an incorrect slope. So this was done last week. We had a major rainstorm, and all the fresh plant material and mulch that was right next to the door, because the gutter was installed, it splashed back against the home, and it wasn't at the right pitch. So builders do them well. They build nice houses in Florida.
Right.
It's just the little things that sometimes need to be addressed when it comes to before you close a new home.
I recommend every person I sell new homes to is get an inspection by it, because sometimes you can find more problems with a newer home than you can with an older home, because the older home's been like that would have been corrected a long time ago.
Sure would.
So.
First, the rainstorm they would have seen that.
Exactly. So let's go to the next picture.
This is actually a commercial building that I recently did, and this is one of the things that you always want to check for. These are the FPL meter boxes, and first approach on the panels, everything looks good except for that the clips, the seals on the meter boxes are missing. And there's some investigation now into that, whether there was any tampering with the main service line. So there should always be a secure seal on that FPL meter.
On the bottom.
On the bottom, yep, on the latch.
Okay, I learned something today. I didn't know that. Okay, the next picture.
This is, and the next photo was a roof on a home I did recently, and they had actually hired somebody to go up and do some repairs to the tile. And I can't stress enough that when you're using or doing repairs or doing responding to a home inspection, use licensed contractors.
Right.
Here, obviously, some of the tiles had been repaired and just recently started to slide down from the top, so you can see that a lot of these tiles are slipping. And in the next photo, you can see it'll come up in a moment, but you can see some tiles had been repaired, and the mortar that was used around the vents, a little bit extreme.
Right.
So, not exactly sure who did it, but I can guarantee it wasn't a licensed roofing contractor.
Right. Okay, let's go to the next picture here.
This is, again, just a relatively new home. I think this was only 2 or 3 years old, and they had added some additional power into the garage, and this was a live line that was terminated inside the electrical panel. We did covers off all of our panels to make sure that the wiring, there are no double taps and stuff like that. So this is just a recent thing that actually a regular homeowner could have lived in their home for 10, 15, 20 years and never known that there was live wire in there. So
wow,
something we check for.
Okay, the next picture.
This is a home that I did in Sanibel, actually. This is a brand new water heater. You know, a regular homeowner would come in and say, hey, that's a brand new water heater, everything's great. Unfortunately, they relocated the water heater, and just to the immediate right of this water heater is the electrical panel. And you can never put a water heater in such close proximity to the electrical panel.
How old a home was that?
What's that?
Was that an older home, or?
The home was built in 1992, if I'm not mistaken, 1992, but had some remodeling over a couple of years.
Right.
And just their intent was good. Some of the follow-through just wasn't there.
And the next picture here?
This is the infamous polybutylene plumbing.
Okay.
The
Tell us a little bit about that.
Polybutylene plumbing is a plumbing that was they started using in the 70s. Stopped using it in the United States in 1995. It's a gray, flexible plumbing. product. And when they originally started using it, they used acetyl fittings, and the fittings would fail, and there's been millions of dollars of lawsuits over it. Nowadays, we find them in condos, a lot of multifamily units built up to in the early 90s. And basically, they're not a good product. Have I ever seen a complete failure with polybutylene plumbing? I have never seen it.
Right.
But the issues that will come up is that there are certain insurance companies, actually several insurance companies, that will not insure homes that have polybutylene plumbing in it. So it's best to have it replaced, which is not as it's pretty cost effective. You can replace a 3-2 home for probably about $4,000 to $5,000.
That's right. That's what it does cost.
Yeah.
A condo less.
A
I think
condo
on
less.
the condos, what they do is they, it's from the walls out that they'll make you change out.
Yeah. So not the end of the world. I mean, people, the moment you say you need to replace plumbing, the number is $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 comes into mind, and that's not really the case. So it's something we look for, and it's just part of the regular home inspection.
And when you do a condo or a single-family home, let's say a condo, how long does that normally take, an average condo? So
An average size condo in Naples, Fort Myers area, they're usually running anywhere from 15 to 1,900 square feet, let's say. They usually take about an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half. A single-family home, with a pool around the same size, 2 to 2.5 hours.
Okay.
So it also depends on the condition of the house and how much
Right.
investigation we have to make.
I think we have some more pictures we can go back to here, okay?
This is one of the most common things in Florida that we have failure on. This is called the ground fault circuit interrupter, or a GFCI. Okay, there are 2 buttons. They're little breakers. They're meant to save lives. And on the buttons themselves, they say test and reset. Okay. Now the test button is something that the average homeowner probably never ever does. And it's very simple. There are contactors inside that can corrode and they can fail. So that little test button, as you're walking through your house any given day, hit the test button. It'll click that little button out, and then you can just reset it, go back to normal, move on for the next 6 months. If you never test that button, it can corrode and cause a failure, which is, again, not the end of the world. It can be repaired. Anything that's damaged can be repaired, but good thing to get into and start testing your repairs.
Next picture here.
This is one of the tools we use. This is a moisture meter. We look for, baseboards specifically where there might be water intrusion. Wood and drywall kind of expand at different rates, and whenever there's cracking, it's a visual sign to go and test for moisture. This was a wall that was recently done that, again, there was some moisture intrusion, so we were able to find it.
Next picture.
This is an HVAC vent. If you can look clearly in the back of the HVAC vent, you see little black spotting.
Right.
There's some mold growth in there. In this particular house, we actually did do air samples at the same time, so they did come back positive. But just part of the services we provide. So we're looking into all the vents to make sure that we can catch any mold growth that's there.
Okay, well, Allan, we're going to take another little short break, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about wind mitigation, because a lot of people from the north doesn't understand what wind mitigation is here in the state of Florida. We'll be right back. Thank you.
When picking a realtor, don't just pick anyone. Pick someone with experience. Pick someone with a proven track record. Pick a realtor like Jim York from Downing Fry Realty, the #1 brokerage with the most real estate transactions in the area.
My husband and I had very specific ideas about what we wanted in our new home. Jim York was able to help us find the home that was ideal for us.
With over 20 years of real estate experience in Southwest Florida, Jim York has negotiated over $200 million in sales contracts. Selecting the right realtor is a critical decision that can earn you thousands when selling or save you thousands when buying.
Jim also helped us with a mortgage lender and a good real estate attorney. He went that extra mile, and his experience says it all.
Call Jim York for a no-obligation meeting at 239-273-6727 or visit his website, www.naplesyorkrealestate.com.
Welcome back. Allan, why don't you just tell us a little bit about wind mitigation? There's a wind mitigation and there's a 4-point wind mitigation, right?
Well, wind mitigation is an inspection that we do for every one of our homeowners that purchases a home. The wind mitigation is an identification plan. Okay, basically it's a 4-page form with accompanying photographs that we take on site that will identify certain aspects of a home and whether it meets insurance, not necessarily code, but insurance requirements that can get you deductions in your insurance.
That's right, yep.
Okay, so you know, the first two are whether we had a major building code change in 2002. The 2001 Florida Building Code actually took place March 1st of 2002. And the first two parts of the form are whether the house or the roof was built before or after 2001. Very simple. And then we started looking into the structure of the roof. The nailing pattern when they lay the decking down on top of the trusses, today's code is that they use a ring shank size AD nail. Okay? And they can't space them on the perimeter of the boards and in the center of the boards more than 6 inches apart. So back in the 90s, we were using staples. So we just identify what is used to do that. Okay. One of the biggest deductions you can get is one of the photos that I have.
Let's bring a photo up here.
Is called a single wrap. Okay. It is code today that you have a strap embedded in the concrete or, of the sidewalls.
Right.
Yep. And when you lay the truss on top of the wall, you strap that in place. A single wrap is you take that strap and you wrap it over the top of the rafter, and it's nailed on both sides with a minimum of 3 nails. Okay, and this is what the picture is here. That's the back end of the strap. And on the other photo, you can see the strap headed down into the concrete.
Okay.
So that actually can save the average homeowner, you know, anywhere from $800 to $1,200.
I know. We just did one, and it's $800. It's $1,400. It saved them on the.
Really?
Well, they weren't nailed properly, so they're having a person go in and nail them, and that cost $800. But on their premium during the year, it's $1,400.
Yeah, it's
savings.
It's the biggest deduction you can get on your whole wind mitigation. So the shape of the roof in wind mitigation also has a lot to do with it. They'll give a discount if you have a hip style roof with no gable ends. Nowadays, it's code to have a modified bitumen underlayment or a peel and stick roof coating before they put the asphalt or the tile down. Proving that you have that can save you some money as well. And then the final one is basically hurricane protection. Whether all your doors, windows, gable vents, garage doors are protected by some sort of impact-rated material. So today, where they have impact-rated garage doors, impact-rated glass, we take photos of all those doors and windows and put them into the wind mitigation. That can also save you some money. So,
do people need a wind mitigation even after it's built after 2002?
Yes, they do. Yeah, there's been a number of changes since then. But like I say, if you have a home inspection with us,
you get
it's included.
And
there are a number of insurance companies that use us to do wind mitigations for their customers as well. So it's a good idea to have it. And then the difference between that and a 4-point inspection is any, depending on the company, any homes over 25 to 30 years the insurance companies will require a 4-point inspection.
Right.
And that basically is an overview of the roof, the HVAC system, the plumbing system, and the electrical system. And in a 4-point inspection, they ask for our determination of longevity as well. They're looking for a lifespan on those particular features of the house. So.
Well, Allan, we've learned a lot, okay? And I'm happy to work with you over the last 10 years and
as well.
Continue to work with you. And I know if any of our viewers need an inspector, you're the man to call.
Please call me.
Thanks for coming on the show today.
My pleasure. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.